Hey guys, this is Ali Beydoun with Century 21, Kern and Oberski, and this is week 4 of your real estate market updates. And today, as you can see, I got a special guest here with me. His name is Mike Sobh. He works at Priority One Lending, and the reason why I brought Mike with me on the show today is because I've been realizing since my market updates, week 1, we talked about, the prices, and they were soaring, and, prices were going up in various cities, and people were calling. I started to think, a lot of the people that were calling me are renters, people who are renting property, and they're asking me, hey, can you find me a rental home? And I started to realize that a lot of the homes that are being sold are rental properties, right? Makes sense. Investors have homes, they're renting them out, prices go up. They can pull that money out of that property at once, or they can just take the risk to keep renting it and take the risk of the market crashing. So I thought about this. Why don't we bring my buddy on from Priority One Lending and talk to the viewers out there, first-time home buyers, people that need advice, and with buying homes and getting pre-qualified. Because a lot of the times I realized people think it's a lot harder than it seems. It's really not, right, Mike? Wouldn't you agree? So it's really not that hard. And we got Mike here with us today. He's going to give us some basic advice for first-time home buyers and talk about the current market updates and current market trends with the interest rates that the banks are giving out. So Mike, why don't you give us some advice for the viewers out there, people that are first-time home buyers?
Sure. So a few things that every home buyer should know is you're going to qualify for this mortgage. So we're going to use the buyer's income.
Right.
They have to have a stable source of income.
Okay.
Obviously, we got to be putting a down payment, right? So the money has to be in the bank.
How long does it have to be in the bank?
Generally for at least 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah.
So make sure, people, please, and I've seen this happen several times, make sure that your money's in the bank for at least 2 months. Don't just go out there and put your money under your pillowcase. The bank doesn't care about any of that. They want to make sure that it's seasoned in your account for at least 2 months, right? And now, Mike, real quick, how many years do people have to be working to verify tax income? I mean, how long do they have to hold a current job to get a loan?
Okay, well, that's a loaded question because
Okay.
the answer could be different, depending on the line of work.
Okay.
But every single mortgage application is going to verify at least 2 years of work history.
Okay.
Okay. So 2 years of work history, full-time job. Look, if you're not on the job for 2 years, it's not necessarily a deal breaker. So you always want to talk to me about it, explain the whole situation, because I know there are so many different programs out there.
Okay.
I might be able to fit you in one of those programs
Right.
that can get you where, if you're not at the job for 2 years, you could still get approved to buy a house.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. So, and also other questions when people come into my office and sit with me and talk to me, they always ask me, well, how much do I need to make? Do I need to make X amount of dollars? I don't have the answer to those questions because usually it goes debt to ratio income. They could have, 4 cars in their name, right? Leased out. They could have a lot of credit card debt. So, their credit could be very low. So there's really no minimum income, but I do know there is a minimum credit score, right? That they need to verify. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so that's a very good question that you asked and a good point that you brought up as well. So the last thing that I would want potential buyers to do is to try to qualify themselves.
Right.
Okay. There's a lot of information that mortgage guys such as myself and other guys in the community and the industry
Right.
know that the normal people don't know, So the best way to figure that out is, look, do you have a stable income? Yeah, you got some money in the bank? Then let's talk. Because if you pick up the phone and you call me, based off of your income and based off of money that you have in the bank, it's not quite enough. We have to pull up a copy of the credit report. Credit score needs to be at a certain amount at a minimum to even be able to be looked at to get approved,
Okay.
right? We have things like credit simulators to where maybe if your credit score is not high enough, we can help you get up to the score that's needed.
Right.
But you always want to talk to a mortgage professional so they can tell you what you need instead of you. There really isn't an answer for me to give you that's a blanket answer, because I'll be doing a disservice to those that might qualify that are not part of that answer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it's really not complicated. You know, people rent because it's kind of like learned helplessness. You don't really need to rent. Some people are qualified, they're well qualified for a very long time, and they don't even know it. They just continue to rent, and they feel like, well, I always get this question, well, I gotta put 20% down, I gotta put 40% down. You know, there's a lot of myths out there. Ladies and gentlemen, you should go talk to your local lender, you know, call Mike and ask him a few questions. It won't hurt. A lot of the lenders out there will actually guide you through the process. That way you can actually be, you know, a homeowner and live the American dream, right? Now, Mike, do you have any advice for people that are currently trying to sell their property and buy a new property?
No, not that are currently. That's as far as selling their property. That would be more your side of things. But one thing that I've been seeing is that I've had some homeowners that instead of selling their house, they're actually using the equity that they've built up because their home value has gone up. Now they have some equity. Now they have that equity, and I've helped those clients out by taking some cash out. And actually, the cash that they took out, they were able to get approved for another mortgage to purchase another home, and the cash that they took out, they used as a down payment to purchase a second home or maybe even a rental home. So that is one thing that I could specialize in, and I can help you take cash out, so this way you could purchase another home or take cash out to consolidate debt.
Perfect. And ladies and gentlemen, also, for my advice on that question is, if you're selling your home and if you absolutely need to sell the home to buy another home, don't look for homes. Put your house in the market, work on getting the money out of your property, right? Figure that out. Figure out your assets, your income, figure out everything that you need to figure out, and then start looking for a property. Because if you have, you know, a house that needs to sell to buy a house, you're going to go out looking for property, and it's not going to work because you're not going to have, you know, the pre-approval or the income, the proof of funds to buy a house. Now, we all notice that the interest rates are going up in the market, right? Yeah, so the interest rates have gone up a little bit, and the myth is they're going to go up to 10% next month. I hear that from everybody. Absolutely not, ladies and gentlemen. They're not going up that much, right? The banks are not trying to slaughter you. It's just the way the market works. So right now, what's the current interest rate, Mike, and what do you think they're going to be going with the following months that are coming?
Okay, that's a great question. So I can't give you what is the rate today, because banks don't wake up in the morning and say, you know what, today's our rate. They look at the market, and there's a range of rates. So the range right now is you're looking at anywhere from 4.5% to 5.9%. I mean, there's a big range, and all different factors go into it. How much money you're putting down, or how's your credit looking? Okay. Are you taking cash out, or are you purchasing, and things like that. Right. One thing that I can tell you is the Fed got together last week, and they increased rates by 0.25%. And they also said that next month they're not increasing rates again.
Really?
Yes, but we do know that there's a potential one more rate hike this year, which everybody's expecting it to come in December. So I don't think that rates have stopped going up. I think that they're still trending upwards. So if you're trying to buy a house and lock into a low interest rate while they're out there, right now is the time to do it. And then if rates do go down in the future, remember, if you ever buy a house and you're locked into an interest rate, and then later on interest rates go down, you do have the ability, as long as you qualify for a mortgage, you do have the ability to refinance your loan and get a new loan with a lower interest rate and pay off the old loan with the higher interest rate, therefore saving you money monthly.
Perfect. Okay, guys, well, that's it for our show. If you have any questions, please comment below, share the page, spread the word out there, guys. Spread the awareness. It's really not hard to buy a house. I mean, it might be difficult under some circumstances for some people, but essentially it's really not hard to buy a house. Give it a shot. Call your local lender, get a hold of Mike, get a hold of me, myself. Call your local real estate agent. Maybe they'll be able to guide you through the process and get you in touch with the lender. So, guys, until next time, this is Ali Beydoun and Mike Sobh from Priority One. My name is Ali Beydoun from Century 21, Kernan Oberski. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Take care.